Hi everyone, so I have for you the third video of the Hustlr series. As you know, the first one was with Aditya Ghosh, second was with Ronnie Screwvala, and third is with Mr. Manoj Kohli. Manoj and I became friends a few years back, and I've learned tremendously from him. Manoj built Airtel in India for the longest time. So today we'll have a conversation with him. So thanks Manoj, and you're looking very good with the Hustlr glasses.
I love them.
You're young and you're doing all these fitness videos on LinkedIn. So these are perfect for you.
I will use them a lot.
So Manoj, how many years were you there in Airtel, and what was Airtel like in those years? And when you left Airtel, I think it was like a household name.
I have done now 44 years of my work experience, out of which 20 years were in telecom and about 15 years in Airtel.
When you joined Airtel, how big was it? And when you left Airtel, how big was it?
Yeah, so I joined when Airtel was just over 1 million customers.
1 million, that's it.
Yeah, 1 million. And by the time I ended, Airtel had about 400 million customers.
Wow. So this journey of 1 million or 2 million customers to 300 million plus customers in India. What was going on in Airtel in those days? What was your strategy?
Let me divide this into 4 major foundations. First was the aspiration. I think you need to, as an entrepreneur or a team, leadership team especially, need to have a clear aspiration for future. If your aspiration is a leadership aspiration, then I think it makes it very clear for you, for your team, for all employees, for all partners, vendors, dealers, everyone follows that aspiration. So that aspiration is most important.
But were you taking audacious goals every day?
Yes, every time we took audacious goals. Actually, at some point we became a bit arrogant, and therefore we took our team to Beijing in China to meet China Mobile. So China Mobile was far bigger than us, so I think oont pahad ke niche aaya, to so people became more humble. But we always used to take audacious goals, which are bigger than us. So I think first is aspiration. Okay. Second is the work culture, the performance culture, high performance culture. I think that was, I will say, the single biggest driver of Airtel's success. Speed was the mantra we took. In everything we were speedier, we were agile. Decisions were taken on the fly.
And this was consciously you were
very consciously, and people were empowered more than their position. Because we said, do the right thing for achieving your goal. You don't have to check on everything, because we trusted people. And I can say 99.9% people really stood by the responsibility. They were very good. The third thing was our business model. Our business model was the most unique in telecom world.
As so this is not standard what everybody follows.
No, I remember we met in Agra for a strategy session in 2002, and we decided there a strategy that we will do what we know and we will not do what we don't know. And therefore we had the biggest outsourcing momentum in the world of network going to Ericsson, Nokia, IT going to IBM, towers going to tower company, distribution going to millions of franchisees around the world, and call centers going to all 5 big BPOs of the world. The fourth foundation was the brand. And we always aspired for an admired brand. Despite the fact that we went to masses, we went to 550,000 villages, which means it was a masses brand, but we still kept aspirations alive. And that is not easy, let me tell you. Because if the tariffs are falling so fast, if it is used by masses, millions and millions, but still your brand is aspiration, that was a big challenge, and that was a very exciting challenge.
The second thing you mentioned was high performance culture. I want to go a little bit deep into that, because that is one thing that is easier said than done. Because somewhere I feel, so much has happened in this telecom industry. Players like Jio came in, but one brand which has stood the test of times, and I would say is Airtel.
Actually, the ultimate test of any sector, any company, is this example of Jio which you have given, where a new brand comes in with 50 billion investment, with latest technology of 4G, and only Airtel survives. And it's because its high performance culture was so deeply embedded in the company, not only in the company, in the partners, in the dealers, in the vendors, everyone entire ecosystem of the company. Now, the point you're making is very important. How did this get generated? Now, this got generated by a culture of openness, culture of trust, culture of empowerment, culture of flexibility according to the environment changes, competitive changes, geopolitical changes, and culture where there is huge rewards to people on doing a good job.
What advice can you give to entrepreneurs or CEOs? Like, what would you say becomes important at this stage?
Belief in the top team, at least the top 20, 30, 50, whatever top team you define, that this is possible is very important. Once the top team is fully aligned and fully, I will say, dedicated to the aspiration, then the journey starts. And then this 25 million will easily become 50 and 100. Yes, what you said was right. The challenges are going to be different. Therefore, you have to be flexible in your approach. Every year or every 2 years, you'll have to change your tack, which means now, for example, you have to take a tack of being consistent in your quality, in delivery, in your reliability of every product. Like Hustlr you're making, it should be reliable. Every customer of Hustlr should feel the same experience, same positive feeling. These such foundations you have to lay down for the next scale. Let's say if you want to go to 50, you can't have 50 million customers who don't get consistent.
पर कैसे करें? मतलब मेरे जैसे जो नए CEOs बने हैं, what should we focus on?
We have to learn. Like I was telling you, I took my team to Beijing and we learned from China Mobile because it is a far bigger company. For example, consistency of quality and delivery comes from brands like Toyota. Toyota is a fantastic brand, and I'm sure Softbank will help you get to Toyota. They are Six Sigma quality. Every part they make is Six Sigma quality. Same thing in this. So our teams have to be well trained, our equipment, machinery has to be the best in the world, because frankly the customer experience is going to make you the global leader.
When you are scaling this company, and we have seen many examples in India also, as companies start scaling up, somehow the customer experience starts going down.
So the balance between speed and quality is lost. I feel that balance has to be kept by you and your senior colleagues. I've had this conflict with my senior team. Sometimes I wanted to expedite the launches, and my team used to tell me that, Manoj, if you expedite it by 2 weeks, then our billing experience, our collection experience, our customer experience will fall. So I have to have a bit of patience, because quality and reliability is more important in the long term.
And as a leader, what did you do to build that?
So basically over-communicate. Over-communicate the aspirations, over-communicate the basic essentials of quality, etc. And give them tools to do that. Give them empowerment to do that. And for example, culture of making mistakes. We encourage people to innovate, and sometimes they made mistakes. So we said, fine, there are 2 rules of the mistakes. One, that don't repeat the same mistake. You can make some new mistakes, but don't repeat the same mistake. And second, the cost of a mistake should be cut on the day when you find out it is a mistake.
So when you were, let's say, 1 million customers, and then after you crossed 100 million customers, where were you spending time, and what was your calendar like?
4 big slots. Number 1 slot was market. The highest time I used to spend with customers, dealers, distributors. The ear has to be close to the market. Because if you don't understand the market and the changes, then as a CEO, you can't take a good decision. Second, I used to be close to my partners who were helping me scale up 10x, 100x. And I remember one year, we had to commission 36,000 towers.
In 1 year?
In 1 year, which means 3,000 towers a month, and more than 30 compliances have to be done for each tower. And we did that because the team worked so closely and all the partners understood our goals. My third was to work closely with our employees. Employees, rewarding them, giving them counseling, giving them help, giving them support, giving them budgets, so that they can achieve their goals. And 4th slot was financial management, because we were very, very careful on financial analysis, financial goals, because we were a small company.
The metrics
were very, we had something called CWNs, closely watched numbers. Every day the entire team has to look at CWNs, and whatever is not moving well, we have to take actions on the same day. So So, culture, the customer, the culture, the partners, and the financial matrix, CWNs, etc., was meshed in very tightly. Not only by me, but the entire senior team. You asked me tough questions, I'll ask you two questions.
Okay.
What are your personal values and ethics which you bring to the table as a founder for all the employees to notice?
Wow. ये तो employees ही बताएंगे. मैं तो कैसे बताऊं? I can say that, see, I'm a big believer that in the value system. I genuinely feel that if the value system is right, half the job is done. Not full, but half the job is done. Or let's say it is a prerequisite. And, you know, one thing is respect. I can tell you that if you can respect people in general, respect partners, that I think is super crucial. So bringing that into the ecosystem, respecting women in our society today is so important. And in a diverse, as you build a global culture, respect different, you know, cultures. You know, when I'm speaking to somebody in Japan or Taiwan or Malaysia, and appreciating the differences is very, very important. Understanding and having that is very important. The second I would say is empathy. You know, it is important to understand and feel the pain or the, you know, the what goes into the life of the other person. Could be anybody, right? What are they going through? I have found that building empathy goes a long way in trying to build. The third I would say is like on the side of I do believe that, you know, your word has to carry a lot of weight. अगर आपने बोल दिया है, and if you have committed to somebody, even if it is not in writing, आपने verbally भी commit किया, you should try and build a culture because that builds a culture of accountability. You know, let's say two teams are collaborating and I say कि I will take care of it. वो बोलना अलग बात है, पर बोल के उसको honor करना and
so walking the talk
and honoring. ठीक है, I may have taken a wrong decision and I may realize now that I have taken, but because I committed and because I have empathy for someone and I understand that they would have taken decisions, I need to honor that commitment.
So give promises, but keep promises.
Keep promises. Very important. And you know, in the long term, I feel that if you can keep promises, while in the short term, sometimes you may feel by keeping this promise, I may lose. But in the long term, you gain too much. The credibility that you gain from people, your own people. Like in Lenskart, a lot of people will say, yaar, Peyush se bulwa do. If he says, we know. And I think that value system needs to be built across the team.
What is your personal aspiration for future of Lenskart?
Aspirations हमारे भी बड़े हैं. See, there are two fronts, right? One is, of course, the purpose of Lenskart, which is giving vision to people. And I want to give vision to 1 billion people, directly or indirectly. Right? And so that is one aspiration. Billion is a large number. हम अभी 20 million पे बैठे हैं. आपने 300 million touch किया, हमने थोड़ा बड़ा ले लिया. हम आए अभी next generation company. So that is one. Second, I do think that I truly want to make Lenskart a global brand. India से global brands बने हैं, पर जितने global brands India में आए हैं, उतने global brands India से नहीं बने हैं. I am trying to crack कि where what do we need to do? I do know long-term thinking is very important to build a global brand. जैसे अभी हमारी फैक्ट्री बना रहे हैं हम, तो we have taken all global standards. मुझे लगता है कि हमारा एक ब्रांड एक कुछ ऐसा बनाए जो इंटरनेशनल लोकेशन में लोग चाहें कि हमारा ब्रांड आए एंड लोग इंडिया में भी प्राउडली इसे एज एन इंटरनेशनल ब्रांड, ग्लोबल ब्रांड पहने. तो वो एक गोल है, एस्पिरेशन है छोटा सा.
I'm sure if you and your senior team and even all employees and stakeholders of Lenskart will carry it, you will succeed.
नहीं ये तो है लोगों को. lot of people join Lenskart, you know, some join for the vision purpose, but a lot of them join thinking कि यार शायद, you know, maybe, you know, Peyush is right, maybe we'll be able to build a global brand.
No, I'm sure you will.
You know.
Good luck.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you. So that was the Hustlr series with Manoj. My one takeaway from this conversation was when Manoj said that belief is very important, right? And I think if he kept saying that I spend my time on belief, one of the key things was aspiration, making sure that every person in the organization is aligned, particularly the top leadership, not just on paper on the goal, but in their minds they know that this is what we want to build and we can build it, is very, very important. So thank you and hope you enjoyed it.